we apologize if the noise gets to be too much. Hopefully our mics are covering quite enough.
I didn't think about mics. My hand's been covering this mic the whole time.
Oh, well, hopefully that's...
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Yay, good times.
Hello and welcome to the Gnollcast. My name is Gregory. This is the Gnoll. And today we're going to be talking about our 2025 in review. Some of the books we read, some of our bestsellers, some of the things that we did, as well as what we're looking forward to coming up this year in 2026. Books on our TBR, some events that we were looking to do. And
let's start off by, 2025 was a decent year for me reading. I didn't really push myself a whole lot, but don't even, this next year I do want to try and make a goal of 10 books a month. To me that seems fairly attainable, at least for what I'm doing right now. So I'm going 120 books for the year 2026. In order to kind of track that, I have started a brand new Goodreads page. If you're interested in following along, seeing what I'm doing, what I rate or review anything, feel free to follow me at Goodreads. It's the Gnoll, TheGnoll. Right now I've got some of my TBRs on there. I'm not going to start counting anything until it's been read in the month of January, going through the rest of the year. So,
to be honest, I don't think I've read 120 books in my lifetime.
I'm sorry. That sounds like a personal problem, really.
Well, you read, how many books did you read this year, in 2025?
In 2025, I read 65 books.
Okay.
So
I read 5.
Okay.
My goal for 2026 is 2 books a month, so 24 books. It's obviously a lot more than I read in 2025.
There are other people out there, like I did, 140 or 200 books.
Yeah.
Online, it's like sometimes you have the opportunity, sometimes you have the time. Life happens.
Yeah.
And reading will always be there for you, but it doesn't necessarily, But in this instance, what we're doing here, reading's kind of a necessity.
It is. Yeah, we want to be able to have more conversations and recommend more books and do things like that. 24 books in a year is not nearly as many, but it is something that is a goal of mine.
Yeah, it's good to have the goal. I mean, it puts you striving for something, which is ideal.
Yeah.
Hopefully everyone watching, can make their own goals. If you do make a goal, please post it in the comments. We'll check back, at the end of the year, early next year, see how everyone did. We'll be discussing what we did, what we thought, hopefully at this time again next year.
Yeah, we're also talking about for TBR for 2026. We're throwing around some ideas of ways to kind of motivate everyone to stay on track with some of their goals. But we're brainstorming some of that, and we'll talk about that either in an upcoming podcast or on our website on thegnoll.com. The big thing is understanding that there's several ways to read, right? There's physical media, which we have our bookstore here in Riverside, so we've got used and new books for you to pick up, or online at thegnoll.com. You can find all of the majority of our inventory, if not all of our inventory, on there. Bookshop.org. If there's books that we don't have on our website or in our store, you can find them there and still support us, as well as Libro FM.
Audiobooks are still reading.
It is still reading. No, I agree. I mean, there's books that I wouldn't have read this year if it weren't for audiobooks. It's especially for me, my attention span is not the greatest. My ADHD drives me insane. And if there's opportunities for me to calm down and listen to an audiobook, I would much rather do that. Actually, what's interesting is I've seen in in this community, like I'm making more friends and meeting more people, and book talk obviously has become huge, and seeing some of the videos that people post, like where they like draw a bath, light up candles, and relax for a couple hours and read a book, that drives me insane. Like the concept of just sitting in a bathtub for hours and reading a book, like I don't know how people do it. I genuinely don't. Like but audiobooks has been a way for me to read books that I wouldn't have otherwise either had the time or attention span to do. Audiobooks, libro.fm. Our link is on our website. Our link is down below. Definitely click on it. It helps support us. There's also promotions and stuff going on all year with Libro. So definitely, if you're an audiobook reader, check out those links. Use our links, our affiliate links, to help support our business. We talked about that last month, and ways to support our business and grow the community and continue to support us. So
yeah, thank you for those that are doing it. It does help us out a ton. So for me, I had 65 books read this year. I did try to pick out kind of a top 5. That was a bit of an assignment. I'll be honest. I enjoyed a lot of the books I read this year. There weren't any real dogs or anything that I couldn't get behind.
Well, I mean, we could start with talking about some of the books. One of the big books for our 2025, not just for books that we read, but also for the store as well, is one of our, if not our top selling book in 2025 was Matt Denneman's Dungeon Crawler Carl. Phenomenal book, a genre that I didn't even know existed before this year, to be honest. It's what's called a literary RPG or lit RPG.
It is an intriguing sci-fi story, and actually, I had done some other lit RPG stuff, but this is Dungeon Crawler Carl is the one that kind of cemented my fall, if you will, into literary RPG, and the progression fantasy. For those who aren't familiar with lit RPG, it is a fantasy or sci-fi story. In some cases, they're very gamified. Like with Dungeon Crawler Carl, with once they're in the dungeon, characters are actually gaining levels, gaining items, gaining powers, growing as, for me, character growth is a huge, thing about any of the stories that I enjoy. I'm very much character driven. So with that, lit RPG, will oftentimes literally break it down by numbers. Well, we've reached level 5 or level 10, and this power or this progression has occurred. And the truly good authors that are handling that, like Matt Denneman, Travis Delver, Shirtaloon, we call him that, for he who fights with monsters.
Sanderson, character development.
Yeah, but in terms of the lit RPG aspect of it, it can be overwhelming at times, but more often than not, they combine it into the story so much that it is not pull you out as much as what I sometimes fear. Sometimes the game aspect can be overly heavy-handed with it. So
yeah, I think one of the things so I've read the first 2 books in these series this year, and one of the things that I really enjoyed about it is the fact that it is technically based off of a game show. I like the dark humor aspect of it. I like that it is twisted and has some funny parts to it, but there's enough character development and character-driven decision-making that it actually makes you feel invested for the characters. You find out about some of the things that in their past they do a little bit of flashbacks just on things that get brought up throughout the series, and it's very, very well done.
Yeah, no, Matt has done an amazing job. While this has been one of our best hand sells throughout the year, considering our year started August 30th.
Yeah.
He only managed to make second on my list of top 5. So, yeah, I actually put He Who Fights with Monsters, actually book 11 is my favorite book in the series. So by Shirtaloon, it is the whole series. By and large, I highly recommend. Hopefully, we will have a 12th book within the next year or two.
We talked about that on our last podcast.
Yeah. But yeah, it's, if you were looking for intro books into the lit RPG, I don't think you can go wrong going with He Who Fights with Monsters or Dungeon Crawler Carl. He Who Fights with Monsters is due out for a hardback release coming up here. For us, we'll be getting it in July. For Barnes & Noble, they'll be getting it in May, 2 months before us. But that's, we're still bitter about that, and that's probably going to hang around for a long, long time.
Yeah. There's a truck in the background.
We are doing this in the store, and it is, unfortunately business hour or near business hours. So
yeah, there's a lot of trucks that pass by here in the small town. There's a grain silo. Grain silo close by, and it's also a through town to the highway. The highway's close by. So
all right. So still continuing with my top 5. Let's go ahead and see where we can go from that. I have as my 3rd book for the month, or of the year, sorry, Homecoming, book 10 of the Spiral Wars, or book 9. You were book 9, weren't you? Yeah, book 9. Spiral Wars is again another indie book that you don't see a lot in a lot of places, by Joel Shepard. Again, it's another one of my hand sells that I often go to. Cannot recommend enough. If you like military sci-fi, complicated characters or situations, it does have fleet combat. It does have political intrigue. It does have space marines. If AI is a thing that you're concerned about, AI does become a thing. I'm going to go ahead and spoil some right there. The Spiral Wars series in and of itself is a very fun read. Homecoming again made it as one of my top 5 books of the year. So number 4, continuing in the vein of military sci-fi, is Scorpio. We're going to try and see if we can't figure something out. By Marco Close. It is a new Frontline series, which continues the Frontline story, but with new characters and new situations. It, rather than strictly a military start to the series, this takes place on a human colony, Scorpio, that has been invaded by aliens and taken over, and they've had to survive a time on planet cut off from everyone, and while their planet is being terraformed for new aliens and becoming uninhabitable for humans. Marco Close is one of my favorite authors, and I do recommend all of his series, Frontline series. It is a lot of fun. First and second book are out of this one. So that was book number 4 for me. My 5th book, unfortunately, is not one that we've been able to get into stock. I've reached out to a publisher. It's Fire and Ice from the Iron Prince series. This is again another lit RPG story. So again, 2025 was kind of my year of the lit RPG. But this one is more of a sci-fi bent to it, even more so than Dungeon Crawler Carl. It has to do with evolving armor sets. Kids who are given, earn the chance to be given an armor set that progresses over time, and they end up attending a school and entering competitions to push their armors and forcing them to evolve, to gain skill, and to make themselves better. So Fire and Song is by Bryce O'Connor. It's part of, again, the Iron Prince series. If you get an opportunity, it is available on Audible. Unfortunately, it is an Audible exclusive right now. Hopefully, at some point, we will have a chance to get it onto like Libro FM or something like that. But the audiobook is phenomenal. I do highly recommend.
Who publishes that?
I knew you were going to ask that. It is... I'm going to actually have to look.
Can we not get it from the publisher? Is that what?
I can't. I've reached out to them and not heard anything back.
Where do they sell it?
Just on their website.
Oh, okay.
Stormweaver Warforged is the actual series. Oh, Wraithmark Creative is the name. So
All right.
that took almost no time at all.
That was really quick. You found that. Off the top of your head.
Magic of editing. Thank you.
What about the Jade series?
Well, I did actually read Jade City and the Green Bones trilogy this year. But actually, I was going to talk about that in my TBR because Fonda Lee does have a new book coming out. So Green Bones and Jade City, Green Bone trilogy and Jade City were a fantastic read, and it was very tough not including them on my top 5. I found them very reminiscent of a manga series that I had read years ago called Sanctuary, which had a lot of political intrigue and infighting and stuff in Asian culture. So, but that one's a lot harder to find now. But so yes, Jade City, again, another great read. Highly recommend. Well, speaking of TBR, what is it you're looking forward to, Greg? You've set yourself 24. Gregory, sorry.
Sorry.
You can kill that. You've set yourself a goal of 24 books. What's some of the things you were looking to try and tackle this year?
So in the last podcast, we talked about there is no memetics division. It's something I'm looking forward to. It's one of those hard sci-fi brain messy with books by Quantum. I'm looking forward to that. The Silo series by Hugh Howey is another series that I'm going to be reading here very soon. My brother actually just finished the series and he loved it. It's a show on Apple TV now, and I watched the first season of it and I really enjoyed it. So I'm going to read the books. It's on my TBR this year for sure. Basically, it's one of those dystopian sci-fi novels that I think that will be really good, because it also is one that it does mess with your head a bit, because you've got a civilization that's in a silo, basically, and they don't know what's outside of that silo, and figuring it out and going along on their adventure, figuring it out, and having them battle basically a corporation outside of their existence is, I think it's going to be a great book.
Yeah, that one is actually on my TBR for this coming year too. Got them sitting at home waiting. So,
yeah. Another one is it's called Old Man's War. John Scalzi actually was just recently here in Iowa City for the Iowa City Book Festival. It's a series about basically once you reach a certain age, you're retired, and by retired, this is it.
You join the military.
Yeah, basically, your body's retired.
Yeah.
Your brain lives on because you've got years of experience. Your brain gets put into a fresh, new skin that gets to fight in a war for your civilization.
Yep, they basically download you and send you on your way. It's John Scalzi always has some very entertaining thought progress or projects in his books. Rather than drafting young kids and killing off generations, he took it to the other end of, what happens, when somebody hits 65 or, retirement age and, has made it through where, through their life, and there's a war that needs to be fought, and you can put them in a body that is capable of fighting.
There's now 8 books in the series.
Yes.
The Shattered Piece.
Shattered Piece was
Shattering Piece.
Shattering Piece,
came out.
yeah.
It came out a couple months ago.
October, yeah.
So this is definitely on my TBR. And then the last thing is actually another series that was picked up by Apple called the Murderbot Diaries. I don't know a whole lot about it yet. Obviously, I haven't read it, but basically, it's another one of those dystopian sci-fi that there's a race of artificial intelligent robots, and I don't know. We'll see.
Well, it's going to be a great fun and a chance to explore.
Yeah,
we look forward to hearing from you about it.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all these throughout the year, and then what do you got in your TBR?
My TBR, again, He Who Fights with Monsters, coming out in hardback this year. I've already read it, but I need to have one. It needs to be on the trophy wall. But I will probably end up rereading it again this year, I hate to admit. Another one coming out this month, in fact, Operation Bounce House by Matt Dinniman. That's one I am excited about to see, some of his other work that he's done. This one has to do with colonized world basically being subjugated by other humans, but the other humans are in sort of an Ender's Game-esque controlling robots and stuff from Earth, or I believe it's Earth. Again, to be read. We'll figure out more and be able to discuss it in the future.
What else you got in your TBR?
Other things on my TBR, Daughter of Crows by Mark Lawrence. I actually have not read Mark Lawrence, but a lot of his stuff is, been very popular for years now, and I'd like to give it a shot. He's got a new series coming out, so that made it onto my list to be read. The Last Contract of Asako is again by Fonda Lee. That's, who did the Greenbone trilogy. She does some amazing writing dealing with martial arts, being a martial artist herself. She has very good combat and ways it pertains to the characters. This feels like a very cyberpunk story from what I've read of the preview. So Last Contract of Asako, that's one of the ones I'm looking forward to. And then Platform of Decay, more Murderbot Diaries, due out in May.
Yep.
So, if Greg gets, really on his horse and we can get him through all 8 books of that, that'll do a nice dent in his, goal list. So
that's true. A couple more for me. Joe Abercrombie, The Blade Itself series. I definitely want to read that. It's going to be part of my 24 this year. I've read the first of the Red Rising, or the first 2 of the Red Rising series. I want to finish that because there's technically 6 now in that series.
7th will be out this year as well, which actually is going to be on my TBR. I'm not, name of it is slipping off the top of my head right now.
Yeah, so the Red Rising series, I want to finish that. And then James Islington, he's got a series that I'd like to read, The Shadow of What Was Lost. That series, it's definitely on my TBR this year. So we've got
the Lycanus trilogy.
Yes. Lycanus, yeah. So we've got a lot of books to read this year. I mean, I don't know how you're gonna. I don't even know how you find 120 books to read.
They keep putting them out every month. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then there's happens to be thousands upon millions of books and written now. So
yeah, one other series that is going to be part of my 24 is it called the Expanse series? Yeah, the Expanse series by James A. Corey. There's 8 books.
8 books plus short, or 9 books actually.
9 books.
plus a short story collection or novella collection.
Yeah, it's a they call it a space opera, but it's sci-fi, military sci-fi, with some kind of darker, harder sci-fi stuff in it too. There we go. Just do it. There, you can see it, right? But yeah, James A. Corey.
Are you entertained? No.
Is a whole series. So this will definitely put a dent in that 24 books for me, at least. He's read. Have you read all of them?
I've read all of them.
He's read the whole
Yes.
series, and apparently it has an ending, which is not the most common for some of these sci-fi series.
It's. I mean, it is a amazing series in that it takes you on the journey that it takes you on is very interesting. It has some of the most unique characters of any story I've read. What happens, when you're a psychopath and don't
Well, let me
care
tell
what you
you.
do. That one of the
So they
main
have relatable characters.
Yeah, one of the main characters, realizes his moral compass doesn't tend to spin the way most people's do. So he uses other people to kind of point him in the right way to be to be the good guy that he wants to actually be, maybe. But
The anti-hero.
yeah, that's the thing. If you actually get into these series and get to the point where you're wanting to read them, it's not hard to reach your goal.
Yeah.
Like I said, you're looking at 8-9 books, 10 books here. 8 books from Murder Diaries and and that one is actually they're not super large books either.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
You've got opportunities to get through them quickly if you sit down and actually spend some time, or
That's the problem, is just sitting down and doing it.
do some damn driving and listen to audiobooks.
I do like to drive.
So,
I used to drive more for work, and I used to listen to a lot of music, and I wish I would have shifted that to audiobooks when I was traveling for work, but I definitely will find time. I mean, 2 books a month is not difficult.
right.
Just kind of transition some of the things. I could even be doing it at the gym. Like while I'm working out, I could be listening to
Yes.
some of these, so that's not a bad idea.
Audiobooks make everything a little bit easier.
lifting
Traveling
weights.
makes easier. You find yourself being lost a little bit in time. So
Yeah.
Give it a shot. It's New Year's resolution time. All of
That's
that.
true. That is true.
If you are hitting the gym, give audiobooks a shot.
Yeah.
Libro FM. Shoot us go through us and help us out. So
Yeah. Anything else on your TBR that you can think of?
not off the top of my head. I think that's kind of I'm going to be grabbing up all kinds of books throughout
120
the year.
books. That's
120
wild.
books.
I don't know how you do it. 10 a month it's mind-boggling. I mean, it's doable.
Definitely doable.
Yeah, that's awesome. We would love to hear what some of your TBRs are. Also, if you have recommendations, give us recommendations of books that you've read that you've loved, and we can either talk about them if we've read them as well, or if he's read them rather. Apparently, I don't read.
We're working on it,
but
it's a work in progress.
The other thing is, let us know what your TB read is. We're going to be. He's got a Goodreads that's going to be reviewing some of the books that he's read this year, and then obviously a list of those books.
It's a clean Goodreads, so we're going to just start from there.
Yeah. Definitely continue to follow us on our socials, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We want you to communicate with us. Let us know how we're doing. Let us know how you're doing. Let's have some conversations about some books. We've got a lot of books to read this year.
A Spotlight Author of the Month.
Author Showcase.
Yeah, Author Showcase.
T. Kingfisher.
Yeah.
She's got a book that...
That's actually going to probably be on my TBR. It technically is released on December 30th, but Who's reading on New Year's Eve?
We haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah.
It's called Nine Goblins. But Kingfisher, she is a Hugo Award winner. That actually might also be on my TBR.
Yeah. See, all you gotta do is look. There's books everywhere.
That's true. She won a Hugo Award in 2023.
But yeah, I mean, she tends to write all kinds of stuff, but a lot of it tends to be kind of a dark humor. But she'll, fantasy romance. Fantasy romance. She does tend to have. I think she has, I want to say 3 or 4 books coming out this year, if I'm not mistaken. We'll find out. If I am, I'm probably going to hear about it in the comments. So.
Yeah, fair enough. But yeah, she's our author showcase this month, so definitely check her out on the Gnoll.com, as well as all the past Brandon Sanderson, Travis Baldry, John Scalzi, and Matt Dinneman. We've got showcases for all of them with little articles to read and information about them, and just some fun things to see. We got a lot of things that we want to do this year. I mean, 2026 is our first full year open, and we've got a lot of events that we want to attend. We've got some things that we want to try and get done. More audiobook events or audiobook groups.
If you have an event going on near you, say a convention, we're willing to travel, within reason, 4 to 5 hours.
Within reason.
For now. But, if you got an event going on near you that is, you think would benefit from having a book vendor at, that would, sci-fi, fantasy, comics, we are glad to see about getting into those events and, come to you as needed.
Yeah, we're in Eastern Iowa in Riverside, obviously the future birthplace of Captain Kirk. We're with like 4 or 5 hours from everywhere. I mean, we're 4 hours from Omaha, almost 4 hours to Minneapolis, 4 hours to Chicago, St. Louis, Kansas City. We're smack dab in the middle of all those.
Yep.
So a lot of those major cities we can make them to.
And we also have, a Star Trek museum here in town. Mm-hmm. For those of you wishing to actually travel and make it a road trip.
We got a Trek Fest.
Trek Fest happening at the last weekend in June. That's going to be huge.
Yep.
So,
we like I said, we're going to come up with some events of our own. We'd like to do at some point. We want to visit all the indie bookstores in Iowa.
They're actually, speaking of that, there is an Iowa indie passport.
Yep.
And this year we should be a part of it. I've been talking with some of the other indie bookstore owners, and that's supposed to kick off July 1st. But I am hoping that maybe we can get it started a little bit earlier. So if you happen to come out for Trek Fest, we can get you your first punch and get you started on the book tour of Iowa.
Yeah, that's a big thing we talked about in our last podcast is supporting indie bookstores. Like we support each other. We're not competition. We all support our own communities, and we all have our niches. There's not many sci-fi fantasy specific genre bookstores in the Midwest in general, not just in Iowa, but we support each other. So we love your support. We love communicating with you guys. We love being able to know what you guys are interested in or want to talk about, and hearing what you guys are reading. Me especially, I have not read as many books as Gnoll. He's got a whole wall of books at home as well as an entire store full of them. So I got a lot of catching up to do.
That's a trophy wall. That's not.
It's a trophy wall. Yeah. So we got a lot of things coming in January. We'll definitely keep checking out our website, thegnoll.com. We're updating events constantly on there. as well as all of our socials, Facebook, Reddit.
Reddit. Yeah. I mean, and again, that's one of our big goals for the year, 2026, is to make sure our updates are more consistent, that we are getting information out to you. Our inventory is going to be updated constantly. We get new books, used books all the time. If you have used books that you're looking to get rid of, we will, buy or trade, or if you just wish to donate books, we are more than happy to take donations. Make sure that those can go to a home for somebody that hasn't had an opportunity to find the magic that was in the book that you found. So,
Yeah.
Please, we're glad to share and make sure that books find good homes. Anything else you'd like to add?
I think the big thing is definitely set a goal, hit that goal, and we want to hear from you guys. So,
well, remember, it's a goal. Life happens. Sometimes you won't make it. That's okay.
No,
but the point is, you want to strive for something, and if you can shatter the goal, like I said, if you can start listening to books on your workout and stuff, you'll find that it's much easier to get through books than you actually think.
Yeah.
So,
well, let's see. We'll be working out 5 days a week, every single week for the entire year without fail. And that's 52 weeks at 5. That's 250. That's 260. Those 260, let's say, hour-long sessions, right?
Yeah.
And an average book, 8 to 10 hours? So that's 26 books right there.
It depends on what type of books. Some of mine are 24 to 40.
Yeah.
So.
So, well, I mean, if they're 8 to 10 hours a book, like especially the Murderbot Diaries, I'm assuming they're probably not going to be that long.
That's true.
For audiobooks. So yeah, I mean, that's 26 books right there, because I'll never ever miss a gym session this year, ever, possibly, never. It's not even wood.
Thought that counts.
Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, just
it's January, 'tis the season,
yeah. Follow us, give us a like, comment, subscribe, share. Let us know what you're reading, and hopefully we'll see you at some of our events. If not, hopefully we'll see you in the store. If not, hopefully we'll see you online. So we appreciate you, and thanks for stopping in.
Thank you very much.